Hi, everybody. Bill Doolittle here with the Inside the Kentucky Derby report, brought to you by Insider Louisville and the Wellspring Derby Preview Party. And the party comes up April 25th. That's next Tuesday, just a few days from now. Well, as you can see, we're at Churchill Downs. We're behind historic Barn 42, which is a longtime home of shipping in Derby horses that have come from other parts of the country. They stay back here in this barn, and you can tell there's no horses in the barn because out here where people like to come to graze their horses, it's all shaggy and hasn't been mowed. And they don't mow it because the horses, if they were here, would keep it mowed down. And it's full of dandelions like this, which, of course, most people don't want in their yard. But we have a horse in this Kentucky, horses like dandelions, and we have a horse in this Kentucky Derby named Gormley, who the trainer actually grows dandelions for him to eat. So that's the dandelion horse, Gormley. He's the winner of the Santa Anita Derby. But what we're going to talk about today is I haven't been surprised by one thing that's happened along the Derby trail on the prep races coming to the Kentucky Derby. I mean, it didn't pick all the winners, but I wasn't surprised that long shot IRAP won at Keeneland. I wasn't surprised when Always Dreaming upset Guinevere in the Florida Derby. I thought he'd then go on to be the Kentucky Derby favorite. I wasn't surprised when the Irish named horse won in New York. I wasn't really surprised about any of those things until last Saturday when they ran the Arkansas Derby, the last major prep for the Kentucky Derby, and it was won by Classic Empire. Now, I know not everyone follows all these horses, but this is the horse, if you go way back to last November, this is the horse, Classic Empire, that all the experts put their finger on and said he's the likely Derby favorite because he just won in nice style, winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile at Santa Anita, had a really excellent season, won 2 races here at Churchill Downs. He comes from a top barn. He's got kind of off and on pedigree, but it's possible. And, he was just the one everybody liked. But he went to Florida. He opened up the season with a very lackluster third-place finish. And then it was found that he might have had an abscess under his foot, which is a sore spot. And they treated that. And when he went back to training, he wouldn't train. They take him out to the track, and he wouldn't go. And they knew something was wrong with him. So they took him to Ocala, to a horse farm. This is Classic Empire. To a horse farm and let him train there. And, at that point, I just said, well, this is just a horse that hasn't come back to form as a 2-year-old, as a 3-year-old. And I didn't draw a line through him, but I said, I don't expect this horse to do anything. And he did train pretty well in Florida, and then they shipped him to Arkansas. And even though he was the second choice of 5-2 in the Arkansas Derby, I didn't really give him any chance. Well, let's pick the horses, the field. The favorite's Malagasy, who we said would run out of gassy. And this is Classic Empire. He's going to win this race, but as we turn for home in this video of the Arkansas Derby, he's pretty much not involved. But he will be.
Silver Dust is at the rail, and they run towards the top of the stretch, and Malagasy has a short lead. Conquest Mo Money comes right back at him and actually retakes the front. Untrapped is only a length from the front. Classic Empire 2.5 to make up Conquest Mo Money and Malagasy. They are right together to the outside and Untrapped. Here comes Classic Empire trying to run down the new leader, Malagasy. Malagasy, Conquest Mo Money. Here's the champ, Classic Empire. It is Conquest Mo Money, Classic Empire. The 81st Arkansas Derby goes to Classic Empire over Conquest Mo Money.
Okay, pretty good rundown by Classic Empire coming through the stretch to win the Arkansas Derby. And it was a fast time, too. 1:48 and some change. That's the fastest of any of the mile and an eighth Kentucky Derby prep races. So you can't discount that. I don't think he really beat a whole lot of great horses. The Conquest Mo Money is certainly an interesting story. We don't know whether he's going to go in the Derby yet or not. But it was the way he did it. He ran him down. He just looked determined. Now, normally in horse racing, you would say one of two things. The horse will progress from a start like this after missing starts in Florida, and this is going to move him along in his next race. The Kentucky Derby might be his best race. Or you could say, you know, he'd been off and hadn't been training that much, and maybe this race will have taken a lot out of him, and he will bounce. That's what they call it, is when the horse regresses from a good effort. So you can take it either way. That's up to you to decide. This Derby is going to be up to you to decide, because I've never seen so many horses with a chance in a Kentucky Derby before. All right, that's Classic Empire. Enough for now. I'm sure you'll hear plenty more about him. They're going to try to make him the Kentucky Derby favorite. He's real popular in New York, and the money will come in on him. I like him because he's got local connections. He's owned by the Oxleys, and Debbie Oxley's from Louisville, and he's trained by the Cassie family, and they're based right here at Churchill Downs. As a matter of fact, Classic Empire is here on the grounds right now. But enough about him. Let's go back and look at a couple previous Derby prep races that we hadn't shown videos of so far in our little series, and they're pretty interesting. This one is the Spiral Stakes at Turfway Park up here near Cincinnati, and it's a race that's gonna, well, you find out who wins it here when we hear the race call, and we'll find out who owns it too.
They got the half in 46 in one. Enhanced, still on a clear lead. Shows them by a length and a half. Stablemate, fast and accurate, comes to the outside. Convict Pike moving well along the rail in third. Giant Payday, there's Parlor as they run past the quarter pole. It's Enhanced, floats well off the rail. Fast and accurate takes the lead as they turn for home in the 46 renewal of the Spiral Stakes. And it's Fast and Accurate who has the lead by a length and a half. Through from between horses, Convict Pike is gaining, and down the center, here comes Kitchen's Cat. They have a 16th of a mile still to go. Fast and Accurate still up top. Convict Pike lunging to the inside. Kitchen's Cat to the outside. Blue Ridge Traveler along the rail. Fast and Accurate wins the Spiral Stakes by almost a length. Blue Ridge Traveler along the inside was second. A host of others, it's third.
Okay, so that was Fast and Accurate, and he was fast and accurate at Turfway Park and winning that stakes. And he is now has some new additional owners, the Sky High stable, Sky High Racing, race here at Churchill Downs, and they like gray horses, and this is a gray horse, so I don't throw him out. I don't discount him at all. I don't think he's in the top bunch, but I don't think he's at the bottom either. We'll see what he does. He's sharp right now, so we'll see what Fast and Accurate does. Now, the other race we're going to talk about is the UAE Derby. It's the United Arab Emirates Derby. It's 1 mile and 3/16, almost 1.25 miles. It's the longest of all the Kentucky Derby prep races, and yes, I know what you're going to say. No horse from overseas has ever won the Kentucky Derby. Well, of course, that's not accurate. Horses have won the Kentucky Derby shipping from overseas. It's just been a while. And but you know, my brother says, well, Bill, you always get excited about these European horses and horses from overseas, and they never win. So when one wins, you tell me, and then we'll bet them. And of course, the trouble with that is that you can't bet on races that have already been run. That's a rule here at Churchill. They won't let you bet on the race after it's over. So you have to decide beforehand that you can make the leap and say that a horse can travel halfway around the world from Dubai to Churchill Downs. He'll be stabled right over here, come in on a big jet, and his name is, well, you'll hear his name, it's Thunder Snow, and he's going to make this duel with the Japanese horse called Epicharis, and this is really one of the best horse races you will see in some time. We'll pick him up going into the far turn. This is Epicharis and Thunder Snow. So that's Epicharis, the Japanese horse in the white silks with red and green, and on the outside, that's in the blue, that's Thunder Snow.
48.2. Epicharis showed the Derby field the way to the back by 3/4 of a length over Adorato. Thunder Snow's 3/4 of a length away. He's edging up to be third now. Guitar Man fourth, Forey fifth being ridden along. Then Vittori Kid, Master Plan, is being asked to improve, and then Lancaster Lancaster Bomber, Spirit of Valor, Flyer Dawn and a break to he runs away at the head of the others. Coming around the turn, Thunder Snow moved up to Epicharis, 400 metres left to run. 2 lengths away, Qatar Man, then Lancaster Bomber. It's Thunder Snow alongside Epicharis. Thunder Snow, the Guineas winner. Epicharis from Japan, 200 metres out. Thunder Snow's running about. Epicharis battling back. Epicharis in front. Thunder Snow trying to raise another effort. Epicharis in front. Thunder Snow lunges again. And I think one in the last possible gasp.
Well, that was some horse race. I think you would have to agree, even if you're prejudiced against horses from overseas winning the Kentucky Derby. Thunder Snow looked pretty good. The winning rider, Christophe Soumignon, one of the top 5, I'd say, maybe top 4 jockeys in the world. He's had real good success when he's come to America to ride, too. So that's Christophe Soumignon on Thunder Snow. He's going to be one of our 4 or maybe 5 final picks for the Kentucky Derby. We'll find out more about next week. Also, we're very interested in Gunnevera, who's kind of dropped out of sight a little bit. We know where he is. He's in Miami going to ship here, but people stopped paying attention to him. But I haven't. So that's Gunnevera. And also Gormley, the winner of the Santa Anita Derby, was not particularly fantastically impressive, but maybe that was a good race for him to come to Kentucky. Classic Empire we've already mentioned, and I think the horse until this last weekend that you would have to say would be Always Dreaming would be the Derby favorite. But I don't know that he has to win, but he may be the best trip of all, because he'll be out near the top. He'll have Johnny Velasquez, and I think he's going to have a real good chance. So that's our little report for this week. We've got a little over 2 weeks left to go before the Kentucky Derby. We'll have one more big video report with all these fabulous videos. And don't forget the Tuesday night here at Churchill Downs on Millionaires Row. And yes, they're going to let me up there on Millionaires Row. Of course, it won't be Derby Day, but Millionaires Row, the Derby, the Wellspring Derby preview party, always a lot of fun. And we'll have our Insider Louisville Inside the Kentucky Derby report next week as we get closer to the 148th Run for the Roses.